Jeff, so tell us about the opportunities for, for your company and for web video, for the government, for NGOs, for what you're doing with the State Department and other organizations, and why they need video.
Sure. Well, we're finding that pretty much every organization, government organization, has very similar communications goals to what we find brand marketers and media companies have, which is that they want to use video to communicate their message out so that they can, connect with constituents. And that's across really every type of government organization, be it the military or government agencies at the federal, state, local level. So what we're doing is we're actually working with government resellers that specialize in this market, specifically Carahsoft, which is a major reseller that sells in the government area, to help take our platform into the government sector. Just an example of one of the customers that we've been working with in the government for some time is the State Department. And they, obviously what they're doing is marketing the policies of the United States out throughout the world. And so they have a whole social media presence in Facebook, they have blogging platform, they have the state.gov website. And within that, they want to put a lot of video content. And they've been doing things like both on-demand content as well as live video broadcasts. I don't know if you remember I guess it was last year, they did a live broadcast on the speech about internet freedom by Hilary Clinton that was done, live on the internet. Of course, it's a perfect medium for that. And they did it through Facebook, their blog, and through state.gov simultaneously. And it got a lot of viewership and was really interesting. So that's just an example of what people are doing.
So tell us about the, your business, the consolidation. We heard big news yesterday, Kit Digital. What's going on in this business? It's there's a lot of money coming into it. What's happening, and what do you see?
Well, I think that there's just a classic consolidation going on right now. I mean, there's over 70 companies that offer some form of an online video platform, and that's really too many for the marketplace right now, and many of them have been struggling. We've seen deals come across our desk and organizations that were really struggling and kind of running out of cash because they've had a hard time scaling. So I think that's what's going on here is that natural consolidation process. Kit Digital bought 3 companies at one time, which is kind of unusual. And I think you're going to see smaller, fewer larger players in the marketplace succeeding over time. But the good news is overall the market is growing, and the amount of video usage is growing. And so we think there's space in the market for a lot of different vendors.
And Jeff, not to get too deep in the weeds in the time that we have, but our friends at Apple kind of changed the game in a certain way less than a year ago, it seems. What's happening with the iPad and also the emergence of HTML5 and what used to be a nice little peaceful world of the Flash player is sort of upended? What's going on?
Well, it's created a lot of confusion in the marketplace and a lot of kind of panic, I would say, on the part of publishers because everything that they've been doing up to this point that was working all of a sudden wasn't working in this new environment, and it's too big to ignore, and it's a really attractive demographic. So we had publishers coming to us saying, how are you going to help us? And the good news is we had a strategy well in advance to do that, and we're able to help their video work both in a Flash environment where there's Flash available and in an HTML5 environment when no Flash is available without them having to do anything. And that's put a lot of the stress out of the marketplace, certainly for our customers. But I will say that it's there's still a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of confusion in the marketplace still, because what many people fail to realize is that the whole video ecosystem built up around Flash technology. So not just for playback of video, but also for advertising, analytics, recommendations, all of the different things around the video that are important to the strategy, all were done in Flash first. So now we're having to rebuild all of that ecosystem in HTML5, and it's proceeding along just fine, but it's taking a little bit while. A lot of people don't realize that there is a difference today. But having said that, it's something that's really driving a lot of interest in our business right now, because organizations that previously thought, well, we can kind of do this ourselves, are now realizing this is very complex, and it's only getting more complex. I mean, you talked about iPad and iPhone. That's just one thing. Then you put in the whole connected TV world. It's even more complex. A lot of people are realizing we need to have a platform to do this, and that's driving our business forward, which is exciting.
And just one part of the platform discussion is video mobile apps, which is, again, pretty new, and you're doing that for people. I know the Financial Times has it. And
Yep.
What's the value of a mobile app versus a mobile website?
Sure. Well, having a website where that people can come to on a mobile device and your video plays is really an essential foundation for any video strategy. But what we're finding is that organizations see an opportunity in apps to take that relationship deeper so that they can actually have a persistent presence on the end user's device, where every time they use their device, there's a reminder that they should go back to, the Financial Times, or they should go back to the New York Times application and actually consume content there. And that allows people to consume content for longer. That's what the data would suggest, and also come back more often, which the data also suggests. And many publishers really see that as a significant opportunity to get more views and to get more deep with their audiences. So that's what they're doing with apps.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks very much. It's great to see you, and thanks again to Brightcove for sponsoring us and being part of this whole thing.
Thank you for having us. It's very exciting.